And I see we are about on the top of the hour. So at this point in time, I would like to welcome everybody to our town hall meeting this Wednesday. Appreciate you guys taking the time to join us tonight. We have updates from Tim McCoy, from Terry, and from Craig in reference to futsal and indoor, what you can expect in the futsal leagues this winter. On my side, I would like to start out to let you know that Chuck Bauer has agreed to chair the Committee on Player Statistics. That was the last town hall meeting where we had, no, not the last one, the before the second one, not the last one, where we had the statistics people explaining the numbers to us. So Chuck and his committee will take this, evaluate it, look at the numbers, come up with some conclusions, and let's see how it goes from there. I'm sure we will have them at a town hall meeting to present. On futsal, Craig will be going into more detail, but we have canceled the Futsal State Cup for this year. And since I have you here, I wanted to just very quickly, we had an insurance town hall, and I know that some of your probably previous boards decided to have their own insurance, which is not a problem. You should know that you're always welcome back to PA West. But if something happens, and we have cases throughout the year where players have injuries and they need a secondary insurance to cover it, if for some reason you have an insurance case and your insurance rates skyrocket to the point where we are cheaper than what your previous board decided to do, we will have to talk about it. But you're always welcome back. So I started to do a referee focus group 2 weeks ago with 5 referee assigners that I think have a very, very good referee program. We had our initial meeting and we started talking about what makes their program special. We'll have a follow-up meeting next week talking about recruiting. And everybody at the last meeting said, we're starting out at 12 or 14 years of age. So I wanted to take this a step further and see how about not recruiting 12 and 14-year-olds, but more on the adult side. So these findings, again, will be part of a town hall meeting where we will present this. Speaking of the town hall meetings, we will slightly change it. We will always have town hall meetings like today where we inform you about stuff that is going on, stuff that is concerning us that we want to share with you. But we will also expand to other venues, as I said, for the referees, for example. This is probably not along your wavelengths, but it will be more interesting for assigners. So we are branching out a little bit. We want to make a best use of WebEx that we have. We can fit up to 1,000 people. So we will find something for everyone. Last one I have on my agenda is the Bayer updates. Tim and I had a discussion with them yesterday as they are getting ready to work all the numbers and the input. So there will be 5 general goals set. And underneath those goals, we will have objectives. And I'm sharing 4 of them. One of the goals will be branding and visibility. The other one, member services. Then we have governance and structure and accessibility of soccer. The 5th one is in a toss right now. It will be either programs or education or technology. And technology is something that we should continuously look at and make it user friendly for you as a clubs as well as coaches. So Bayer Center will be ready by early January. From there, we will have our work cut out to look closely at what their conclusions are and find ways to implement them. So you all will be part of it to the extent as you like, but we will keep you posted on these in separate meetings. So this is pretty much my part, and I am handing over to Tim McCoy.
Thank you, Tilo. I don't have a whole lot here. I just want to hit on a couple quick things. Registration, just a reminder that in-house registration is currently due. It was actually due the second week of the season. So I know that Gwen and Dean and Cheryl are trying to chase down the clubs that have not submitted their in-house registration yet. Also, Spring 21 season or playing session is available in Soccer Connect. So you can set up your spring registration and begin accepting spring registration now moving forward. As Tilo talked earlier about using WebEx for a variety of different types of programming in town halls. One of the things that we're going to undertake out of the office is we will be doing some registrar training and some board training and training to help clubs pull reports from Soccer Connect that will enable them to have a little better understanding as to what's going on in their club, what their numbers look like in specific age groups, or print out the admin list that shows who has what clearances. Those are tools that are available that, based on what we're getting question wise coming in email and phone, some clubs aren't aware that they have the tools at their fingertips just a couple mouse clicks away. Chris Grine is not going to be with us this evening. He's otherwise tied up. Couple items he asked to have covered. President's Cup is November 13 and 14. Cost is $380 per team, and registration is open right now, but tomorrow is the last day for registration. So if you've got a team and you haven't, or teams and you haven't registered them, needs to happen tonight or sometime tomorrow. And then he also asked that we talk about COVID. I pulled some numbers as we're 4 weeks into the season, plus preseason training in August. We've had 26 teams directly affected. 5 of those were in-house. And when I say directly affected, I mean someone, a player on the team, either contracted the virus or someone in a player's family had contracted the virus, which caused concerns and had us close that team down or had the club park that team. Of course, then there's a team on the other side that may have been affected as well, because a game would have been canceled, that an upcoming game would have been canceled, or they may have gotten a notice to monitor because they had played the day before someone found out that mom or dad or grandma or grandpa had COVID-19. Of those 26 teams, that's out of 12 clubs. So we've got 130 clubs and change. Only 12 have been affected. Breaks down 3 from the north, 5 from the east, 2 from the west, 1 from the lake, and 1 from Classic. Shockingly, none from the mountain and none from the South District, which I'm a little surprised that we've got a couple districts that we haven't heard from. As far as complaints, number of parents, handful of parents inquiring about masking, but they've been quite understanding when we explain to them that we're asking people to wear a mask for an hour and a half, in order to keep the kids on the field. And usually when we have that conversation, it usually is satisfying to them, and they understand that it's a short commitment in order to allow everybody to continue to play. We did have one complaint from a club about another club that sent out instructions saying this is what we're doing at our field. But then, as it turned out, uh, they weren't doing what they told the visiting team was expected. So that was a little concerning. The long story short is I think we've actually done a pretty good job, but here in the last week or so is where we've seen an influx, as we've seen in Western Pennsylvania as well. So we just need to remember not to relax. We need to continue to be vigilant. I know Chris said he talked to some people at Forbes Hospital earlier this week, and they were seeing an uptick there. So it's coming back. So we do need to make sure that we're social distancing, and we're following all our protocols, keeping people away when they should be away, and distanced, and masks, using masks and things like that. And that is it. But I was on a call webinar this afternoon with Becky Burley. And she shared this thought, which I'm going to share with you, and it's a simple one, something that you can integrate into your thought process with your club, and that is struggle is a requirement for greatness. And what she was discussing was that we often try to have our training sessions look pretty, and we try to sometimes make things too easy for the kids. But in researching true greatness, what she found and what others have found is that the harder you make it, sometimes the better it is, because that struggle forces the players to truly improve. So with that, just to keep in mind, struggle is a requirement for greatness, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you so much, Tim. Do we have any questions at this point? You can simply unmute yourself and ask the question if you like. We are a smaller group tonight.
Tilo, we did have a question in the chat asking about declaration dates for the spring. They remain the same as they've always been. It's March 1st for travel soccer, and I believe it's February 15th for classic.
Okay, sorry, I didn't pay attention to that one. All right, next up is our technical director, Terry. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Tilo. Good evening, everybody, and certainly thank you for taking time away from your work and your family to join us tonight. Thank you so much again. Just to add to some of the things that Tilo and team have talked about, the U.S. soccer have changed the curriculum again in the coaching courses. That would not be surprising to you because of the COVID, because now we are going from courses that are 4 hours in person into blended version now that will be 2 hours online and 2 hours in person. In other words, they're trying to reduce the person-to-person contact. So from 4 hours to 2 hours person to person, everything else will be done online. And then for the D courses, we are going from what used to be 80% person-to-person contact and 20% in person. They are pretty much just flipping that around. So now we're looking at person-to-person contact just one day, 8 hours, which is 20%, and everything else, 80% will be done online. So that's a huge change coming in from the federation there, based on what we all know it's going around, the COVID, for the grassroots. So therefore, they were trying to, again, make it very easy for your coaches. During the lockdown, just a quick heads up, during the lockdown, when everything was shut down, PA West was not totally shut down. POS team and I and the other backroom staff were busy doing online courses. We literally converted all of our grassroots courses to virtual online, and we were able to license about 150 of thereabout. Team can check that number out, but about 150 of your coaches went through grassroots courses that was done totally online. So which is really good to show that we are really paying attention to what you guys are going through out there and what the society at large is going through. With that said, the last thing I have, team, let me know if there's anything you want me to chime in on, because there's so much going on, guys, actually. It's a club development program that I'm working on right now, okay? The club development program, basically, it's a program that will, instead of the road show that you may have heard about, we're kind of blending both to where me, Team Tilo, we can come into you, Chris Grind, we can help your organization run better. Okay. The only request, it's a totally free program. The only thing we request is for you to appoint somebody from your club that will be working with me in that program. So it could be your director of coaching, it could be a volunteer, a commissioner, a parent, just anybody. And then they will work with POS. We have a program lined up. We have a lot of assessments that will send through that person to your club to help your club run and function better, in essence. Again, that's a program that I'm still working on that you will be hearing more about as we go through the season. With that, I think that's all I have, team. Unless there's anything you think I could add to this.
I think you're good.
All right. Thank you again, guys. Thank you, Tilo.
Thank you, Terry, so much. There's a question in the chat box. Do you see it? Chris is asking if the grassroots course dates and D-courses dates are available on the website.
Yes, Chris. Thank you so much. That was the easiest one, so I left that out. Yes, sir, Chris. They are. What we have scheduled right now. We have a few grassroots courses, and we have 1D. And the reason why we have 1D is that I am literally, as we speak, going through the D myself to help the federation finalize it. In other words, I am doing the pilot program for the federation so we can nail down the D curriculum, because it all has changed. Like I told you, it flipped from 80% in person now to 80% virtual online. So yes, everything we have right now, it's on the website. All you need to do is send your coaches there. They can register as we speak. That's a great question. Thank you, Chris.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. You can challenge us with questions. It's not a problem. We can handle it. Okay, thank you so much, Terry. Very good stuff you have coming. And now we are going over to Craig on futsal updates.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Maybe we can keep this, moving quickly. I know we all have a lot of good things going on. I'm going to give a quick summary, but I'm going to start with the State Cup. The futsal committee, we had some meetings, discussed the trials and tribulations of trying to put on State Cup for the upcoming winter for the February regionals in New Jersey. And due to timing, the spacing, the cleaning that would be needed for State Cup, those are full games with additional referees. And another big portion is the limited number of people that can be in facilities. It would be limited rosters, no spectators, various things like that. It just didn't feel that would be an easy thing to pull off time-wise for this year. We will be having some updated ways that teams can still qualify to go to regionals in New Jersey, as long as they have those as well. It depends how the winter goes and some of these other things. That will be participating in the league, in the Premier Division, submitting a letter to the PA West Futsal Committee of your intent to want to go. And then we will review those. We'll look at the standings of where you are in the league and then submit those to the U.S. Futsal committee that is in charge of the regional tournament in New Jersey, which is mid-February. There will be more information written on that. If anyone does have any questions, we can address those. As far as any league play for this upcoming winter, obviously, just like when we were getting ready for any outdoor seasons, things are changing on a daily basis. And the overall guidelines that I can give is, well, one, as being the futsal committee chair, as well as one of the people with Total Futsal, we are working very closely with our facilities to make sure that they have the staff to maintain cleanliness in the facilities. And then everyone also knows that Total Futsal, we also have people there as well as Craig Wilkins, myself, and Damon Salego that are always around for that. In a general overall sense, where everything sits today, so everyone has kind of an idea, we are going on with leagues. If you haven't seen, we do have our MLS and USL registration open. We will be starting the first weekend after Thanksgiving, which is December 5th, 6th, and 7th, I believe. We will not be playing over the Christmas weekends at all because they're fall. Christmas Day is a Friday. We're not going to do anything that Saturday or Sunday, and then the following for New Year's. We will also be going to a 7-game season for each session for the USL and MLS. Premier Division will stay at 10, similar to last year. As far as games go, to give everyone a little bit of more entrance and exit time, we've worked with all the facilities. We're going to have an entrance area. We're going to have an exit area that is different. We are going to be running the games every hour instead of every 50 minutes. We will also be staggering at our facilities like Pro Sports Monroeville. So a game would start at 9 on court 1, 9:10 on court 2, 9:20 on court 3, so that there's not hordes of people going into the facilities all at once. There's going to be a lot of different things. We're working to see what can happen with spectators. But as it sits right now today, we're not going to be having any spectators because of the limited amounts of people that are allowed in the buildings. ESA has put in a video camera system where you'll be able to virtually watch all of the games. We're working with Pro Sports to try and get the same thing done as well at their facility over each court. Hopefully we can have that done so that people can watch. A couple of the other key things that we're doing is that will be a little bit different from prior futsal, and this will be for league play. We are not going to have full benches. We're going to have spacing for the substitutes to be standing because we can't have 30 feet of benches in some of those small areas. We are also only going to have one ball per court, so there's not going to be a ball for warm up like we've done in the past. Our staff will be rotating through those balls at any of the facilities, making sure that they're sanitized and changing those throughout the game. Same with outdoor. If you're not on the court playing, you need to wear a mask. I'm trying to think of some of the other things. Depending on how we actually do not know what the capacity is for Pro Sports Monroeville to see if we're going to be able to have more than 25 players per court. If that is going to be the case, we will most likely be limiting rosters to 10 players, 1 coach, and then we'll have our 2 referees. That would be 24 people on a court. So it's definitely going to be an interesting thing. Hopefully we get a little bit of leeway for some of these. But in the overall sense, most teams don't have more than 10 players, at a game already. That was another reason that we went to a 7-game season, lowering the cost a little bit if you can only have 10 players and you had 12. No open water bottles. We want to try and limit anything that's going to spill that would have to be cleaned up. We are also not going to change benches at halftime, just so that we don't have to worry about any of the garbage. So you'll just stay on the same half of the court for each half. We don't have to worry about wind and sun and all of those types of things, since we're indoor. Referees, just like an outdoor, they'll have the option to wear a mask, use an electronic whistle, doing any of those types of things. And we will be having Pro Sports Monroeville putting up tarps along the netting, so that'll be a solid, vinyl or tarp that's separating, so there won't be the cross contamination. Other than that, actually, you know what? I'm looking at a paper here. One of the things that we will not have pennies as we've had in the past. Again, cross contamination. One team, we can't really provide enough pennies to be washing them in between. We needed them between games. Or just have everyone, bring a white shirt, bring a dark shirt, and we just want to get in there and play. If anyone has any questions on that, anything that they've heard or are concerned with, I'll do my best to answer it. Like I said, these are all changing on a daily basis at this point. So, does anyone say, "Hey, we all covered everything really well tonight"?
I think we always assume that if the group is so quiet. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Greg. That was very informative. Does anybody have any questions? Just unmute yourself and have at it. The more challenging, the better. You all seem to be happy tonight, so I hope we were able to give you some information that you can take home and work with. We appreciate your being here tonight. If you have any ideas on topics that you would like to have a special meeting about, please let Tim McCoy know. He's always looking forward to hear from you. I'm saying that. So for tonight, if there is no questions, I'm pausing again. Just unmute yourself and ask what you have on your mind. Anything goes. Okay, for this kind, thank you so very much for attending. We are looking forward to talking to you soon, and have a good rest of your night. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you.